So, welcome back. So, in this class, we are going to discuss the respiratory system of cockroach. Okay, you know the respiratory system in human beings, how it is, the nostrils and the passage, respiratory passage, namely trachea, bronchus, bronchiole and lungs. So, but here not that much developed, okay, but there is a system. When compared to the other terrestrial insects, in cockroach, that respiratory system is well developed. Okay, when compared to the other terrestrial insect, in cockroach that system is well developed. It is well developed. So here the name of the respiratory system is tracheal system. Okay, here the name is tracheal system, the trachea. Okay, tracheal system. Tracheal system that forms the respiratory system. What is a trachea? It is a branched tubule. Okay, branched tubule that is called trachea. So listen, that green color, that structures, these are the that branched, the tubules which are branched, interconnected tubules called trachea. Okay, this is a tube trachea. That tracheal tube that opens exterior, listen, this is one trachea, okay, tracheal tube that opens outside through the opening. Okay, that lateral side of the body, there is a 10 pairs of openings are there, 10 pairs of small holes that are called spiracles or the stigmata. Spiracles or stigmata. Okay, listen, inga parunga, idha cockroach, appadi vechukkonga, idha that is a cockroach. Abdomen, segments, abdominal segments, lateral side, okay, 10 pairs, that is 8 abdominal segment, 8 abdominal segment, 8 abdominal segment, okay, one on, that is a pair of spiracles on one segment. First 8 abdominal segment and 2 thoracic segment, totally 10 pairs. Okay, totally 10 pairs of the opening that are called spiracles that opens the lateral side of the body. That opening spiracles, that spiracle is followed by a trachea. Spiracle is followed by trachea, then trachea further divided. So the trachea further divided into tracheoles. Okay, tracheoles, that opening that is followed by a tube, trachea. Then trachea further divided into, okay, that is tracheoles, okay, tracheoles. So that is simple tubular structure, that interconnected tubular structure that is called the tracheal system. Okay, that air enters through these spiracles or the stigmata and moves through this, that tracheal tube. And the tracheal tube that is closely associated with the, what is that? That hemocoel. So blood, it is bathed in the blood. So now this air that is that diffused into the blood, that blood transport to the tissues. Okay, this is the mechanism of the respiration. Okay, that is opening is called spiracles, trachea and tracheoles. Okay, the tracheoles that carries through that highly branched tubules called tracheoles. I said already, it is bathed in the hemocoel. Okay, that blood, body fluid, and that body fluid, namely blood. Okay, or the hemolymph. So that carries the oxygen and distributed to the tissues. Tracheal, simply the tracheal system. So listen, that the branching, the tubules, the highly branched tubules, that is the key word. And listen, and that opening, that the spiracles, okay, that openings are stigmata or the spiracles which are guarded by, the spiracles which are regulated by valves. So which are guarded by or regulated by valves are there. It's not always open. That spiracles, it's not open, which are closed and opened by the valve. Okay, so valves are there door closing and opening of that is that spicules and that valves are regulated by, there is a valve, that valves are regulated by the sphincter or the spicular muscles. Okay, so that muscles are there, that is called the sphincter muscle or spicular muscles. Okay, so that contraction relaxation of the muscle responsible for the opening and the closing of that valves. Okay, that here that spicules or stigmata, so which is regulated by open and closed by valves. That movement is regulated by that sphincter. Okay, that sphincter or the spicular muscles. Okay, there is a valve. It's not spicules are not opened always. Okay, that is open and closed by the valve. Heartla eppadi valves irukku, and mari inga valve irukku. Okay, so that's all. And so one thing that what is this? That passage is spicules. That spicules trachea branched into tracheoles and that transport to the tissues. Here take the tracheoles. In the tracheoles, opening, listen, this is opening, and trachea branched into tracheoles, further branched into tracheoles. So here in the tracheole some fluid is filled. Tracheole some fluid is filled. Okay, that is fluid is filled. So in that tracheoles, when the air enters, that moves, that fluid moves. So that responsible for the that diffusion of the oxygen. That responsible for the diffusion, that enable the oxygen to diffuse. Okay, rapid transfer. Okay, that the penetration of the respiratory gases is because of the fluid filled in the tracheoles, minute branching, the tubules. Okay, that's all. The next system is the circulatory system. Next system is the circulatory system. I know that circulatory system, it's meant for transportation. That is transportation, circulation, that body fluid, blood from the heart that goes to the body parts, and when it is going from heart to body, that carry the oxygen, respiratory gases and nutrients, and supplies to the tissues where the metabolism takes place. Then when coming back, return back, so that carry the metabolic waste products, metabolic waste from the tissues. Okay, so that's why it is a circulatory system that meant for the transportation. Okay, here that circulatory system of the cockroach is open type. Open type, that means there is no blood vessels, that blood which is not transported through the blood vessels. Okay, there is no blood vessels, but blood vessels, it is a primitive, it is poorly developed. So not highly developed, that is fully developed blood vessels are not there. Okay, that blood vessels are developed which are poorly developed, not it is highly developed, it is a poorly developed. It is what is that? That's why it is called open type of circulatory system. But in our body, what is the artery, arterioles, and further branched into capillaries. Entire the blood is transported through the blood vessels. But here there is no blood vessel. There is a blood vessel, but not it is a complete. It is a poorly developed. So blood which is not transported through the blood vessel, that type of circulatory system is called open type of circulatory system. Opposite is the closed circulatory system. Okay, opposite. Whereas our system is called a closed type of circulatory system. That is, the blood is transported so through the blood vessels. So listen. That blood vessels poorly developed and opens into the hemocoel. Hemocoel, that fluid filled body cavity. Fluid filled body cavity is called hemocoel. Hemocoel. Hem means blood. Hem means blood. blood filled coelom, அதான் hemocoel. The blood of the cockroach is called hemolymph blood, or we can say it is a hemolymph. Why it is called hemolymph? It is colorless. It is colorless. That body cavity is filled with the blood or the hemolymph. In that that blood vessels or batteries. Okay, that's why it is called open type. And the visceral organs are bathed into the blood. Visceral organs, the holotubular organs are called visceral organs. And the visceral organ என்ன இருக்கும், அப்படியே அந்த ஹீமோலிம்ஃப்ல அப்படியே ஃப்ளோட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கும். இந்த ஹீமோலிம்ஃப்ல நீங்கள் ஒன்றும் கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்க வேணாம். ஒரு தேங்காய் மாதிரி இமேஜின் பண்ணிக்கோங்க, ஒரு கோகனட். மேலே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா என்ன இருக்கும், சாலிடாக இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கும். உள்ள there is a space, உள்ள there is a cavity or space. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் பாடி கேவிட்டி இருக்கும், உள்ள அதுக்குள்ளே தேங்காய் தண்ணி இருக்க மாதிரி இந்த ஹீமோலிம்ஃப் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த பாடி கேவிட்டியில் இருக்கும். ஸோ பாடி கேவிட்டியில் அதில் அந்த விசரல் ஆர்கன்ஸ், ஹோலோடியூபுலர் ஆர்கன்ஸ் எல்லாமே அதுக்குள்ளே வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இட் இஸ் பேத்டு, அது அப்படியே ஃப்ளோட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கும். ஓகே, அண்ட் இந்த ஹீமோலிம்ஃப் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நான் சொன்னேன் இட் இஸ் ஒய் இட் இஸ் கால்டு ஹீமோலிம்ஃப். இட் இஸ் கலர்லெஸ், ஹீமோக்ளோபின்லாம் கிடையாது. பட் சம் ஆஃப் தி செல்ஸ் இருக்கும், தட் இஸ் கீமோசைட்ஸ் அண்ட் பிளாஸ்மா அண்ட் கீமோசைட்ஸ் தட் ஃபார்ம்ஸ் தி ஹீமோலிம்ஃப். இந்த ஹீமோசைட் அதனுடைய ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃபேகோசைட்டிக் இன் ஃபங்க்ஷன். ஃபேகோசைட்டிக்னா தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு, என்கல்ஃப் தி ஃபாரின் பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ என்கல்ஃபிங் தி ஃபாரின் பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ், அதான் வந்து ஃபேகோசைட்டிக். அதாவது டிசீஸ் ப்ரொடியூசிங் மைக்ரோப் மாதிரி ஏதாவது வந்துச்சுன்னா அதை வந்து வாட் இஸ் தட், அதை வந்து என்கல்ஃப் பண்ணும். பேத்தோஜன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, டிசீஸ் ப்ரொடியூசிங் மைக்ரோபை வந்து ஸோ என்கல்ஃப் பண்ணுவாங்க. என்கல்ஃபிங் தி மைக்ரோப்ஸ், அதான் ஃபேகோசைட்டிக் இன் நேச்சர். புரியுதுங்களா? இப்போ அது ஓப்பன் டைப்னு சொல்கிறோம். The poor blood vessels are poorly developed. That blood vessels are open into the hemocoel. Okay, hemocoel. So that என்ன பண்ணும், இந்த so blood வந்து freely flow into the and the hemocoel, and visceral organs are bathed in the blood. So bathed in the blood and the hemolymph or the blood, so which is composed of the plasma and chemocytes. That chemocytes which are phagocytic in nature. Okay, the next is how that circulation takes place. இப்போ நமக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there is heart இருக்குது, 4 chambers இருக்குது. ஆரிக்கல் வென்ட்ரிக்கல், ஆரிக்கல் இம்பியூர் பிளட்டை கலெக்ட் பண்ணிவிட்டு இப்படி வந்து வென்ட்ரிக்கல் வழியாக பாஸ் ஆகி போகுது, தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு. பட் ஹியர் எப்படி ஹார்ட், வாட் இஸ் தி ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்? that here the cockroach, that heart, 13 chambered heart 13 chambers. நமக்கு 4 chamber, இதுக்கு பாருங்க 13 chambers இருக்குது, பார்த்தீங்களா? 13 chambers, 13 chambered heart. thoraxல இருந்து அப்படியே வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா that is end வரைக்கும் இருக்குது 13 chambered heart. Okay, it is a tubular, that 13 chambered, it is a tubular. எப்படி இருக்கும் ஒரு chamber? listen பாருங்க எப்படி இருக்கும். ஸோ இதான் that is a tubular heart. இந்த மாதிரி 13 structures இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி tubular in nature. Tubular heart which are 13 in number. Okay, so 13 இருக்கும் tubular structures. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ஸோ அரேஞ்ச் ஆகிருக்கும். Okay, 13 in number. And so listen here, each chamber, each tubular, there is a opening. This is called ostia. இது இருக்கு பாருங்க, ostia. இந்த சைடில் ஓப்பனிங் இருக்கு பாருங்க, ostia. That chambers are arranged like this, இப்படி இன்சர்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி. Okay, in between 2 chambers there is a opening, that is called ostia. ostia. Okay, இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். இப்போ இதான் பாடி, லிசன், இதான் பாடி. So each chamber is attached with a pair of muscles, that is called a triangular muscle. So that is called alari muscle. So that is called alari muscle. So இந்த மாதிரி each chamber, both the sides, okay, that consists of the triangular, that is a muscular structure that is called alari muscle. So the alari muscle வந்து என்ன இருக்கும், that is which is attached with the body wall. இந்த மாதிரி இது body wall கூட attach ஆயிட்டு இருக்கும். That alari muscles வந்து body wall attach ஆயிட்டு இருக்கும். Okay, so listen. So this tubular heart, which is this is also bathed into the that hemocoel இருக்கு. இது எப்படி how the circulation takes place, எப்படி circulation நடக்குது அப்படின்னு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா, listen. So the muscular activity இந்த என்ன ஆகும், இந்த பாடி வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நார்மலா contraction relaxation of the body muscles, body contract ஆகறப்ப என்ன பண்ணும், this alari muscles are pulled, alari muscles are pulled. இந்த alari muscles வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா pull ஆகும், alari muscles are pulled. Listen, இந்த alari muscle pull ஆகும். pull ஆகறப்ப இந்த கேப் இருக்கு பாருங்க, இந்த ostia that opens. So ostia opens, அப்ப blood, that is hemolymph enters. புரியுதுங்களா, இந்த சைடு வழியா through the ostia blood வந்து enter ஆகும். Okay, blood வந்து that is அந்த hemocoel, from the hemocoel blood enters into the that tubular chamber, tubular heart. Then contract ஆகறப்ப என்ன பண்ணும், contract ஆகறப்ப என்ன பண்ணும், this that is backward, இதான் back side, backwardல இருந்து என்ன பண்ணும், அப்படியே that blood moves to the forward. Okay, and the anterior போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ணும், anterior போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ணும், that is that flow into the sinuses. Sinus na that space between the tissues. Okay, so from here the blood collected from the sinuses, from the posterior region, and at the time of the contraction of the alari muscles it is pushed and body fluid is moved towards the anterior, and through the anterior end once again drain into the sinuses, that pumped into the sinuses. Okay, sinus and the space, I said, you know, that is already, there is a space, coconut at the inside mar, there is a cavity, that's sinus. Sinus na in between the that tissues some space are there, and the sinus kulla pogum, திரும்ப அப்படியே வந்து இங்க வந்துட்டு திரும்ப once again that same process repeats again and again. So this is the mechanism of the that circulation. Okay, circulation in cockroach. 13 chambered heart, the tubular, and so between there is a minute opening that is called ostia, and each chamber that is attached with a pair of triangular muscles called alari muscles. Alari muscles in turn which are attached with the body wall. Okay, and at the time of the body movements that alari muscles that pulls the tubular chamber heart, so that expands at that ostium opens, through that ostia that body fluid enters. Okay, body fluid enters, enter ஆகும், அப்படியே போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ணும், that is in the direction that is a posterior to anterior direction, that blood moves and drain into the that cavity, sinus. So a simple mechanism. Okay, the alari muscle, 13 chambered heart, sinus, and sinus anterior to posterior, that is a posterior to anterior direction, the direction, in that direction that blood flows and drains into the sinuses. Okay, that's all. Apart from that there is accessory structure is there, that is called pulsatile vesicle. That is called pulsatile vesicle, a tubular structure, a small tubular structure that is called pulsatile vesicle, which is found at the base of the antenna. So base of the antenna vesicle is there, that is called pulsatile vesicle. So that also responsible for pumping the blood. Okay, that is also responsible for pumping the blood. That is pulsatile vesicle. Okay, pulsatile vesicle. Okay, that's all.